My name's Slavka, I'm from Alabama, and this channel is about living, traveling, and learning. See you on the road.
Alrighty guys, well, I'm getting unloaded right now, this paper load. Our next pickup is going to be at Holloman Air Force Base in New Mexico. So we're going to go down south almost all the way to Texas line there with El Paso not far. Probably in the desert there. We're going to Air Force Base. So that's for tomorrow. Today I'm going to get up as close to it as possible and then shut down and see what the deal is there. Other than that, the load's paying $2,000, and once I pick up at the Holloman Air Force Base, it's heading to Kingman, Arizona. So it's a fairly short run for tomorrow. We're gonna drive tomorrow and then deliver in the morning and in the afternoon, later morning in Kingman, Arizona. So the plan is to get further west. As you may know, the Albuquerque area is not very hot for outbound loads, so you know, we take what we can. This one's pretty decent actually as far as the rate per mile, including the deadhead. So, you know, one of the things about the military installations, though, it requires some. You gotta be U.S. citizen, which I am. I carry a U.S. passport, and you have to have no criminal record whatsoever. So, you know, that kind of limits the pool of drivers available to do the military runs. In fact, last year I did entire summer Department of Defense base mover contract. I worked with one particular broker for about 2.5 months. All we did is just went between bases with my truck and had a military personal belongings loaded on my truck by moving companies, and then I would drive across country. You know, I would go everywhere. I went from Nellis Air Force Base to various installations. I went to naval stations, army bases. I went so many places, and each one is like its own little compound, or sometimes even a city, and you have to have different gates. So later this afternoon I'm going to call the MPs at that base and find out where what their procedure is for commercial transport. Some areas, some bases have a particular gate that they want all the commercial transport go. Others only have one gate to begin with, and then others have different hours, different gates open, close for commercial transport. Some you have to go to off-site location, check in there, they do your background check, they put you through the computer system, their federal database, I guess, to check your, and then you get the pass, and then they escort you onto the base. So every time you go to a different base, it's always different. That's why you got to call and find out, because just showing up there, you know, there's 50-50 chance you're not going to be able to get in right away, and then it's going to complicate the matters. All right. So yeah, that's the plan right now. I'm getting unloaded right at the moment to Albuquerque, New Mexico, and then we're going to continue on, heading to the location where I'm going to get next load. There's beautiful New Mexico vistas as you come down these flat valleys off the mesas. It's amazing. Bumpy road though. We're in US 54 in New Mexico. It's a typical view out here. Hills and shrubby kind of desert. It's gonna go into full rocks and grass desert pretty soon. Once we get out of this area, I'm gonna go down in the valley, and it's gonna be dry in there. I come up on a town called Duran in a few minutes. It's a very small town. I have no idea what they do there. Apparently they like their wind energy generators, although they're not working right now. Getting construction of these windmills, wind generators, turbine. Every few miles there's a checkpoint and you have to stop because the oversized trucks
I'll clear your guardrail.
They're really building them up. Good morning, party people. We're in a beautiful, sunny and hot southern New Mexico, not far from Holloman Air Force Base, where we're going right now. This area is right next to the White Sands Missile Proving Grounds. So we're going to do a quick walk around, pre-trip inspection of our truck. Currently I'm empty. I drove here yesterday from Albuquerque, New Mexico, to get loaded this morning at the Air Force Base. So once we're loaded, we're gonna head to Kingman, Arizona, which should be interesting. We're gonna take mostly state highways across deserts, because the only other alternative route, which would add 120 miles, is to go to Albuquerque and then catch 40 and go all the way back through the 40 to Arizona. Instead, we're gonna go take a bunch of state highways across New Mexico, across Arizona, and we'll meet up with a I-40 somewhere east of Flagstaff. And then that's the plan for today. At least get to Flagstaff, Arizona, park there for night, and then go out in the morning, get to Kingman, which is like 100 some miles from Flagstaff. It's 168, I believe. Don't quote me, I could be wrong, but it's not super far. It's only about 3 hours or so. Alright, looking good. I just looking at the quick make sure there's nothing super awful going on anywhere. I'm gonna need to buy a new expansion tank pretty soon. I don't know, it's I get these leaks out of the plastic ages, and the micro cracks in it on top where vibration and flexes. So I get these during hot weather and climbing grades, you know, the pressure rises and spews out a little bit. Once it gets to a certain level, like this truck, it likes to keep it closer to minimum. Once it gets to the level, it stops doing it. Like if I top it off to a max, it'll spit it out. But that's because this tank is probably, well, it's original, and I have quite a lot of miles on this truck already. So the road is harsh on all things, including people. Okay, that's looking good. Belts looking all right. I think we're good to go, guys. What do you think? You know, this is not a show truck. This is a workhorse, and it'll never be an ideal. There's always going to be some kind of drip, something this, something that, and as long as it's within reason, and you know, nothing crazy going on, it's okay. We just keep up with maintenance and it'll run. My engine already has over 760 some thousand miles, and it's all original, running strong, but it's gonna have its problems. Gonna have little oil leaks. I wouldn't say leak per se, but you know, you can see it's wetting oil a little bit from around the oil pan. Eventually it's gonna have to go for a rebuild. That's where they're gonna change the oil pan gasket and all that good stuff. So until then, you know, I'm just gonna keep driving, keep watching it. Nothing's permanent. I'm happy this engine destroyed diesel 15 is durable enough to last this long and still pulling strong like a champ. I'm hoping to get at least 1.5 million miles out of it before it's going to go for a rebuild. So part of the process of, you know, deciding what you want to do with your truck is do you trade it in, get a brand new one, and have that and have that $3,000 payment for 5 years, or do you maintain your old truck and save money and buy a new engine or rebuild the engine? I was looking at the prices, and DD15 rebuild right now, if I get a full rebuild with labor and everything, is somewhere around $25,000 in the Chicago area, maybe $30,000, depends. But that basically zeroes out all the mileage on your engine, but you know, you still have old trucks. So I don't know. In my opinion, it all depends on a combination of factors. You know, if you're starting to get a lot of rust in your frame and then other things starting to fall apart, it probably makes more sense to just get a new truck at some point. On the other hand, if everything's good and you just need to refresh your engine, it's a lot cheaper to pay $25,000-$30,000 to get the new engine and use the truck again, and you have no truck payments. You know, your truck's paid off already by then. So it all depends on your circumstances and personal preferences. Some drivers, you know, they won't sit in they just need a new truck all the time. But that, again, I think a lot of those drivers you hear from, they don't own that truck in the first place. They're company drivers, so they just want new equipment because, you know, it's whatever. When you have associated a $3,500 payment every month for 60 months, you kind of, I understand, you know, why older trucks, why people maintain them, why they keep them, you know, for more than just a repayment cycle, because you don't want to be stuck with these kind of payments. If you have a huge payment like that, that means you have to be out on the road every month earning that money back. If your truck paid off, on the other hand, you know, the overhead expense is low. You just have your insurance, that's it. So you can afford to go home for 3-4 weeks and you're not going to go broke. So there's a lot to think about it when you're owner operator, and when you know about your equipment, what you're going to do. There are pluses and minuses to everything. Anyways, guys, I'm going to get the unbutton here and I'm going to go to the base. I don't know, I'm pretty sure they don't allow filming there. That's been the case most of the bases I've been to, so it may not capture a lot of goings-ons in there, but we'll at least get to the visitor center where I check in. So alrighty guys, see you in a bit. Well guys, we're about to enter Holloman Air Force Base. I've never been to this base. I've been all around other bases. This is the first time for me in this one. So we're gonna go in and find out what their process is. This base is pretty big. I can see there's a entire town there with living quarters, barracks, homes for the officers and families, all their facilities. So we're gonna pull in the visitor center and go have MPs check us out, decide if we're worthy of entering the hollow grounds of Uncle Sam's war machine. What is this person doing?
First right onto First Street toward Holloman AFB.
Where do I go? Gonna park here. There's a checkpoint up ahead. I'm gonna go in the visitor center. Okay, guys. We'll find out what's going on. I don't see signs saying no cameras yet, but that probably doesn't mean they're not further ahead. So I'm going to go ahead and check in, and we'll see what's going on. Well, guys, I'm in the middle of the active Air Force base. There's F16 fighting airplanes right there, starting and stopping and taxiing. As you can hear, there's a F16 right there, right across the tarmac. Carts with ordnance, fuel. There's fighter jets taking off, landing. All I'm seeing so far are F16s. I'm sure they have some other fighter squadrons here as well. That's pretty impressive. It's a definitely active military base. So I'm just sitting in my truck. The guys are loading me with tires from F16s. Those are pretty sweet. So we're gonna take those to some place, I guess, that recycles them, or I don't know what they do with them, but yeah, it's a military load. I don't see any signs saying no filming or anything like that. Sometimes you see at the bases. Here you don't, but I'm not going to push my luck, so I'm just kind of staying in the cab and, you know, just not going to go out there with the camera. I don't want to get in trouble, so. But, yeah, that's always interesting. You go into these military installations. Sometimes you see nothing. It's just like residential areas, you know, a bunch of brown buildings and nothing else. Other times it's, you know, in the middle of some kind of, you know, if it's Army base, you see like cool, like Bradley vehicles and the MRAPs and all that cool stuff. And Air Force is always impressive. Jet fighters, you know. How often do you get to be next to one in real life? Not some kind of air show, but you're watching all the techs loading ordnance right now on that F16. Looks like they're putting 2 GPUs right there, like one of those bombs, and just attached external fuel tanks. And that one's armed. He's got sidewinders on the wings. So he's going to go out and do some kind of air patrol mission, or maybe training or something, but he's definitely got ordnance on it. So yeah, that's this is Holloman Air Force Base. See you guys later. Well, we got loaded at the Air Force Base with F-16 fighter tires, and we're entering right now the White Sands Missile Range. You can see the sand dunes up ahead. It's White Sands National Park, and then Army and Air Force Missile Range is up a little bit to the west out of here. It's a restricted military zone. They fire live munitions, drop bombs, test missiles, do all kinds of crazy stuff there. Yeah, there's a national park entrance right here. We're going to continue on to Las Cruces, New Mexico, and then catch I-25 north until a US 380, and then we're going to take US 380 all the way to Arizona, heading towards the Flagstaff. We'll eventually meet up with the I-40 somewhere east of Flagstaff, and I think that's where I'm going to shut down for the day, somewhere around Flagstaff area. Well, we exited I-25 and now we're heading west on US Highway 60 into the mountains of New Mexico and then further Arizona. I'd say if you're heavily loaded, do not attempt this route, or in the winter. It is very, very hilly and lots of mountain passes up and down, many thousands of feet. So when you're heavy, that's just you'll hate your life for it. As you can see, the terrain here is absolutely spectacular, though. It's the very rugged, mountainous country here, part of the southern Rockies that extend into New Mexico, all the way from Colorado and Wyoming, and this area is pretty hardcore. I-40 runs mostly through the canyon, across through Gallup, then comes out on Arizona Crater Plateau there. We're going to do the same thing, except we're not running in the canyon. We're about 150 miles south of Albuquerque and just kind of running in west-northwest direction towards I-40, which will meet up around the around Flagstaff, somewhere around there, maybe like 40 miles east of Flagstaff. So it's going to be very interesting to ride here. The problem is there's no fuel, no cell reception once you get in there. So I stopped earlier, got 100 gallons of diesel just to make sure I have enough. In the next 5 hours, we're going to be making our way out to I-40. But I tell you what, it beats that traffic there on I-40 because the construction and everything. This is a nice shortcut. As long as you don't get behind slow camper or something, everything's fine. We're passing the VLA. It's a very large array. That's a radio telescopes, massive satellite antennas in a grid pattern that they use to study universe. Very cool. It's a huge facility. Hundreds of these satellite-like dishes there, hundreds of feet in diameter that are in the distance as far as you can see. We're not far from Roswell, New Mexico, where the supposedly 1947 aliens crashed. So who knows? There's a massive desert plateau here, and then we're going to be going up into another mountain range up ahead, about 15 miles. It's the kind of scenery out here on US Highway 60 in New Mexico mountains. So as I mentioned, if you're heavy here, you'll hate your life. I've been there, done that. It's nice when you light though, because you don't have to shift gears. You just put it on the 12th gear and go 60 miles per hour up and down, doesn't matter. Beautiful area though. We're over 8,000 feet up in elevation at this point, so we're fairly high up. I feel like we're entering the Groundhog Day. I'm making the same route, same loop. Now I'm back into western Arizona near Kingman. Same highway I was a week and a half ago. Just different day. So all the plan is today is delivery day. I'm going to go drop off those F16 tires and just going to deadhead to Barstow. So that's the plan. My young friend says there's some hot loads out of California. I used to go to Ontario, California, which is like basically down there in the LA Valley, but the problem with that place is that if I had to deadhead right now, it's going to be about 6 hours, because basically I have to cross entire California from Kingman to Needles, and then it gets slow there. Plus, you have to pay $20 per night to park there. Sometimes, you know, I'm just going to stop at Barstow. There's like 4 truck stops right there and one exit. So, about 100 miles from Los Angeles. So whenever he finds me a load, I'll swoop down there and get it. There's no point staying in Ontario. Because, you know, I mean, 20 bucks is 20 bucks. And I may stay there 2 nights, or it's like $40. I don't want to pay that. Screw that, man. I'd rather go buy 2 dinners than that. Pay for some shitty TA or petrol. Yeah, the terrain here near the Kingman, Arizona is pretty extreme. Beautiful cliffs just all around. Picturesque western landscape. Well, here we are in Kingman, Arizona. I'm just gonna get up to our receiver real quick. On the Google, looks like some kind of desolate little warehouse. Honestly, I don't know what to expect, but we'll see in a second. Getting near my ship, or one of them warehouses over there is where I need to go. I had to backtrack a little bit. I got on the road there from the other side. There was a construction there. Just dug up the whole thing, and there's no way I could squeeze in there. I had to back out, turn around, go from the other end. Just, I don't know, I didn't want to risk it going a gravel road. Though out here it's probably fine, the ground is hard, but you just never know. Because once it's a gravel road, you know, it could be uneven. You could just get stuck there with a landing gear, getting into some kind of, into a desert clay, and then you're screwed. So I don't take gravel roads. No, thank you. We're near Kingman Airport. No idea where this warehouse is. I have a mark on the GPS, but that's about it. According to this, we're supposed to go right. That building right there. Oh yeah, okay. And they have tires up there. All kinds of goodies. I think that's the place. I'm gonna park over here and find out where they want me, because I don't see loading dock. If I don't see loading dock, that means that they don't have one. And if that's the case, then there's going to be some kind of creative solutions to our problems here to getting it back in. So you guys chill here. I'm gonna go in real quick and figure out how these guys can unload me. So all good, guys. Getting unloaded right now. As you can see, I had to kind of back in off the road into their gate in there. Like 3 guys unloading all that stuff. So I'm gonna head out to stop the TA about 9 miles up the road and get some fuel. I'm gonna head to California. I'm gonna head to Barstow, and we'll see what our young friend finds us for tomorrow or whenever the pickup's gonna be for a long haul east. So that's the plan right now. I gotta do a few things today related to the back office. I gotta get some IFTA reports done and stuff like that. So that's all we're gonna do. We're just gonna head west on I-40 to Barstow, California, and I'll see you guys there.